And back to super sneaky himbo time with Sean Farnham here. Yesterday marked Steph Curry's 16th career playoff game with at least 35 points. So who is the only player in Warriors history with more, Sean?
Okay, it's sneaky himbo, so it can't be Wilt because Wilt is too obvious. So therefore, I'll go with Rick Barry.
What? He went through about like 17 players before he got to Rick Barry and somehow figured it out. I'm mad. I'm sorry.
Ball
Himbo.
down 7. Get up 8. Get up 8. Himbo. Get up 8.
Tried, Himbo. Sorry.
I am so delighted he got that right. Meanwhile, let's get to Charles Barkley here as we take another quick look back what happened last night. Portland Golden State Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals, and the Trailblazers had a huge lead in this game. Then Golden State put together a run to get themselves back in it, and then in the fourth quarter, Portland struggling with offense. Again, they had a big lead early. They took a 7-point lead even in this fourth quarter, but then they just didn't have anywhere to go, and certainly it would appear that dynamic backcourt of Lillard and C.J. McCollum is being worn down over the course of a long game by having to chase the Splash Brothers around. And then you see Golden State with that good ball movement, Kevon Looney throwing one down there, and Golden State taking the 1-point lead in the final minute. McCollum, again, this is the shot that he basically the same play that he used to beat Denver the other day. Here it gets knocked away, and they had the opportunity there to take a lead, can't do it. So now it's Golden State down the other end going up 3. And here's the final chance for Damian Lillard being guarded by Andre Iguodala. A lot of contact, no call. Then that last strip was clearly clean, and the clock runs out. Golden State takes a 2-0 lead holding serve in the Western Conference Final. That piece that you're seeing there, that obviously is clean. There was some contact before that, not called. On the road, you're not going to get that call. I wouldn't think anyway. Lillard did not complain about it in one way or another. It all adds up to a Golden State 2-0 lead, and that brings us to that man on your screen. From TNT, he's in Milwaukee for Game 2 tonight of the Bucks and the Raptors. The one, the only Charles Barkley is with us. Good morning, Charles.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for having me.
It's always our pleasure, and I'd like to do this with the entire table because I think it's right now one of the more interesting dynamics that is shaping up. When Kevin Durant first got hurt, you said, and I was 100% with you, that they wouldn't beat Houston. They wouldn't win a series without Kevin Durant. Now, all of a sudden, here they are, and you could almost make an argument they look better without him. I wonder what your perspective on that is. What do you think we're seeing from these Warriors playing without their best player?
Well, I think they played 3 fantastic games in a row. But anybody who thinks they're going to win the world championship without Kevin Durant don't know anything about basketball. Number one, this Portland Trailblazers series is not over. I was totally shocked the way the Blazers blew that game last night. But they're not going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks without Kevin Durant.
Do you think that the way this thing shapes out, however it shakes out, the crowd was chanting MVP for Steph last night. Do you think that has any impact, any influence on KD's thinking as he approaches his future, whatever winds up happening the rest of the way?
Listen, man, there's so much bogus BS out there now. I have no idea what any of these free agents are going to do. I mean, it's almost laughable now. You hear people, I hear from somebody's camp, where Kawhi is already gone to the Clippers, or KD and Kyrie are already gone to the Knicks. I have no idea what's going to happen. I think it's going to be the craziest summer in NBA history. I can't wait to see how it plays out. But listen, the Warriors, Steph and Clay have been fantastic. But listen, the Warriors are not going to win the championship without KD. I hear some of these guys getting on TV spouting off, talking about there's better ball movement, all this other stuff. Hey, they played 3 really good games in a row. Well, let's don't write the Trailblazers off first and foremost. Well, let me tell you something. I've already told you the Milwaukee Bucks are going to win the world championship, and I'm sticking by that.
Hey, Chuck, I know that you have Portland, get into the championship game as well. Does it bother you watching Dame trying to guard Steph, running, chasing him around all day, every day, and still having to do so much on the offensive end as well?
Well, Dame, Jason, one of the reasons I picked the Blazers is I think they got the best bench in the NBA. And I think one thing CJ and Dame have to do is they got to trust their bench. They got to trust Entis Cantor, Farouk Amino. They got to trust those guys because you are going to get worn down. And, when you're a star, you have to pick and choose. What I mean by that is when you're up 15, 16, 17 points like they were last night, that's when you rest. That's when you try to make plays for the other guys because you conserve your energy for the last. When your team has a 10, 15-point lead, I used to just chill out and let the other guys do their thing. And then they didn't have anything down the stretch last night because they used so much energy the entire game.
Charles Barkley is with us here. Again, you're in Milwaukee for the Eastern Conference Finals. Game 2 tonight. Critical, obviously, for Toronto, trying to get one on the road in this series. As you watch it, what do you expect to happen tonight? And how about that matchup between the Greek Freak on one side and Kawhi on the other?
Well, those two guys have played better than anybody in the playoffs so far. Kawhi and Giannis, they have been the two best players in the NBA the first 2 rounds of the playoffs. You know, Milwaukee was very rusty for game 1. Toronto deserved to win game 1. They outplayed the Bucks in game 1, but could not finish. But I expect Milwaukee to play a lot better tonight. They are terrific. Lopez, they got Malcolm Brogdon back now. I think the general manager of the Bucks did a fantastic job resurrecting their bench, and they're going to be tough to beat. And like I say, I think they're going to win the World Championship.
All right, then let's get to the other big news of the week here, Charles. I wish I could have been with you when this happened. When they opened up that envelope and Zion Williamson was going to the New Orleans Pelicans, what was the first words out of your mouth?
Well, I thought it was great for the NBA. I'm so disappointed in all these analysts on television. What I mean by that is, do they just want all the stars to play in the big city? If they want to do that, first of all, it has no effect on me. I will make a lot of money whether there's no big market, small market, Tokyo, China, wherever we play. But seriously, do they just want to contract all the small market teams so everybody can play in New York, Philly, Boston, or for the Lakers? I mean, I just think it's disingenuous because, listen, we want small market teams to be successful. But it's so frustrating for me the way the NBA has become, like all the stars want to play together. We don't need small market teams. That's not a sustainable business model in the long run. The kid seems like a hell of a player, seems like a nice guy. I would love to see Anthony Davis stay in New Orleans. Listen, if you give me Anthony Davis, Zion Williamson, and Drew Holiday, Julius Randle, we might not win a championship, but we're going to be pretty damn good. But all these guys who want these young kids who are stars to all play in major markets, I just don't think that's right, and I don't think that's fair.
Big Chuck, are you going to win this sprint tonight to the big board? Are you not going to let Kenny beat you anymore? I mean, you were almost there last time, man.
Jay, I'm going to work on my sprint moves this summer. That's all I'm between. You know, I play golf and I fish every day during the summer. But I'm going to take a 2-hour out a day and work on like a 20-yard sprint because I should be able to beat Kenny with his knock knees.
Hey, Chuck, one more thing. If Shaq wears a quilt tonight, can you guys get on him for the rest of us? Because his suit last night,
bad.
It was terrible. All those big giant flowers. If he wears a bed sheet tonight, can you make sure you get on him for all of us?
Hey, Matt, that's one of the things I look forward to every week and every night. What the hell is he going to wear? His suit game is must-see TV.
Game 2 in the Eastern Conference Finals is tonight on TNT. Charles Barkley and company. Thank you, Chuck. We always appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll be watching. And then, of course, tomorrow we've got Game 3 of the West. It goes night and night, and we'll see what happens tomorrow night back in Portland, 9 Eastern on ESPN and on ESPN Deportes. Coverage tips at 8 with NBA Countdown. It's all streaming live on the ESPN app, so you can watch from anywhere. Coming up, Anthony Davis. He just mentioned it. Should he stay? Should he go? Does the addition of Zion change his plans at all? That's next. Get Up, ESPN.